Hello, this is Tamer from ElliottWaveForex.com with your EURUSD analysis for March 20th, 2015. As expected, the euro started moving toward the upside, and even though it rallied for 270 pips, it's yet to reach our actual targets, and so a continuation of this rally is still expected to higher levels. Today we have two possible counts on the hourly chart, as well as our standing counts on the daily level. Both hourly counts do expect that the euro will eventually move higher, although the second expects that to happen a bit later than the first. We're updating our counts to reflect the most recent price action and to present tighter targets and invalidation points, and as usual we'll use each count's invalidation point as confirmation of the other count. So moving right ahead to our main count on the daily chart, the bigger picture sees that the euro has just completed a multi-year decline in cycle wave X, which formed a zigzag labeled primary waves A, B, and C, where primary wave C formed an impulse labeled intermediate waves 1 through 5. Intermediate wave 5 formed an impulse labeled minor waves 1 through 5, reaching exactly twice the length of intermediate wave 3. Within it, minor wave 1 formed an impulse labeled minute waves 1 through 5. Minute wave 2 formed an expanded flat labeled minute waves A, B, and C, retracing 38.2% of minor wave 1. Minor wave 3 formed an impulse labeled minute waves 1 through 5, reaching 261.8%, the length of minor wave 1. Minor wave 4 formed a contracting triangle labeled minute waves A through E. And finally, minor wave 5 formed an impulse labeled minute waves 1 through 5, reaching exactly 61.8%, the length of minor wave 3. This count expects that the euro is now starting a significant uptrend, which may be unfolding as a zigzag labeled primary waves A, B, and C, where primary wave A is forming an impulse labeled intermediate waves 1 through 5, within which intermediate wave 1 is forming an impulse labeled minor waves 1 through 5, and this will be confirmed by movement above 1.1389. The MACD indicator supports this count by showing a bullish divergence between minor waves 5 and 3, as well as a bullish crossover. Price has also touched the upper trend line of the channel drawn around minor waves 1 through 5, but we still need to see a daily close above that line. This count is invalidated by movement below 1.0458, as this is the start of intermediate wave 1. Now let's move on to the details of the hourly chart, and this count sees that minor wave 1 of the new uptrend is unfolding as a leading diagonal labeled minute waves 1 through 5, where minute wave 1 formed a zigzag labeled minute waves A, B, and C, and within it minute wave A formed an impulse labeled subminute waves 1 through 5, minute wave B formed a zigzag labeled subminute waves A, B, and C, and minute wave C also formed an impulse that came close to 261.8%, the length of minute wave A. Then minute wave 2 formed a zigzag labeled minute waves A, B, and C, within which minute wave C formed an impulse labeled subminute waves 1 through 5. Now minute wave 3 is almost certainly also forming a zigzag labeled minute waves A, B, and C, and minute wave A is forming an impulse labeled subminute waves 1 through 5, within which subminute wave 3 extended as another impulse labeled microwaves 1 through 5. This count expects price to first form a slightly higher high to complete minute wave A, then move sideways to lower in minute wave B, before resuming its rally in minute wave C to complete minute wave 3. This will be confirmed by movement above 1.1052. At 1.1080, minute wave 3 would reach 78.6%, the length of minute wave 1. Then at 1.1207, it would reach 100% of its length. This wave count is invalidated by movement below 1.0613, as minute wave B may not move beyond the start of minute wave A of this zigzag. Now, as for our alternate count on the hourly chart, this count explores the possible but very rare and unlikely scenario that minute wave 2 is forming a double zigzag labeled minute waves W, X, and Y, where both minute waves W and X formed zigzags labeled subminute waves A, B, and C, and minuet wave X retraced exactly 61.8% of minuet wave W, so it's most likely complete. This count expects the euro to move lower in minuet wave Y to complete minute wave 2. This will be confirmed by movement below 1.0613. At 1.0611, minuet wave Y would reach 61.8% the length of minuet wave W, then at 1.0537 it would reach 78.6% of its length. This wave count is invalidated by movement below 1.0458 as minute wave 2 may not move beyond the start of minute wave 1. It's also invalidated by movement above 1.1052 as minuet wave X may not move beyond the start of minuet wave W of this double zigzag. And finally, moving over to our alternate count on the daily chart, this count sees that minor wave 5 is still unfolding as an impulse labeled minute waves 1 to 5, and within it minute waves 1 through 4 are complete. This count expects the euro to continue moving toward the downside in minute wave 5 to complete minor wave 5 and therefore intermediate wave 5 and therefore primary wave C and finally cycle wave X. At 1.0479, minor wave 5 would reach 61.8% the length of minor wave 3, then at 0.9916 it would reach 100% of its length. This wave count is invalidated by movement above 1.1160 as minute wave 4 may not enter the price territory of minute wave 1 of this impulse. That's all for our analysis for today. I wish you found it useful and informative, and I wish you profitable trading, and see you next time.